So if we go to the province development and then sort by this, all they can see is their own. So they are guessing about what the rest of the world is doing. And they are currently Rome's equals. So the contest between Cusco and Rome continues. Although I think that Cusco, especially once technologies become available to them, is going to find it difficult to maintain that in the mountains. Do they have any territories over here which are not mountain? Yeah, they've got a couple of grasslands up in Quinto. That's jungle, that's grassland. Farmland? They have no farmland, apparently. No. Couple of coastal desert, which is a 35% dev cost. Then the mountains, which is a 35 as well. So the grasslands really would be the best for them. It would need to be Tumbre, Coyaquil, or Pastos. And Pastos is actually uncolonized, so it would have to be... Right now, it would have to be Tumbe, which has no penalty. Inca's good at naming provinces, though. Lots of cities with gold. True. And I do actually wonder what their inflation looks like right now. 3.46. It is increasing at a rate of only 0.1. That's actually less than I expected. They are making 4.8 ducats a month from gold income right now. Do they have any ideas? Idea cost reduction, land force limit modifier plus 20. Do they have anything... Alright, there's a dev cost, which reduces inflation. No, so... Inca really should take in, economic ideas first for the inflation countering. Inca has nothing else to spend their monarch points apart from development until they reform. Yeah, I suspected as much. And technology. Because they have been keeping up in tech. Oh, no they haven't. Where did I... They have Miltech 4. So I think they're spending all of their admin and diplo on development and still teching up military. It's just going to be horrifically expensive. They can't take institutions until they reform, but they can take technologies. It's just a very, very high price. Meanwhile, over here we do have Bengal making a fight back. Wow! Orissa currently getting absolutely demolished by Bengal and... Oh, Bahmanis. That might be why. And Bengal is in fact a vassal of Bahmanis, so this is them vassal feeding to expand some more. And in fact, if we go to the diplomatic map mode for Bahmanis, we can see precisely what their four lands are like. Andhra is a Bahmanis vassal. Bengal is a Bahmanis vassal. So they are just feeding those. So Andhra and Bahmanis are actually making... Sorry, Andhra and Bengal are going to be making them even bigger. Jaunpur and Delhi, unfortunately, not here today, so not going to be able to do very much expansion of their own. Alone Without AE is attacking Benin and Zazao, which we saw before. Blue Kiwi and Ajam is fighting over Hormuz, Dewashir, and Najd. So this is a big war, actually. Ajam going after Hormuz. We do have the Mamelukes also involved in this conflict. So Ajam actually come into the Mamelukan aid. So it's the Mamelukes, Ajam, Ardalan, Cyprus, Luristan, and Shamnar versus Hormuz, Dewashir, and Najd. This is very much the Mamelukes trying to consolidate more of the Arabian Peninsula. And I really hope that they don't make the mistake of forming Arabia again. That would be kind of bad. Meanwhile, the France-Burgundy conflict still raging on. It looks like they were determined to take the whole of Holland, which they have now done. All of their enemies are on maximum war exhaustion. It's a 100% war score. France is starting to build up some war exhaustion. They've got a call for peace, which is... really expensive. Good grief. What are they doing? At this point, Castile should just be like, yeah, I'm done. Because Castile's going to be getting that penalty too. And it's only going to tick up and up and up and up. And that's a monthly tick up. Like, they're going to be starting to have some serious rebel issues soon. If they're not careful about that. I mean, right now the rebels seem to be contained, at least in France, in Castile also. Oh, we have a Castellan colonist in Trinidad. So Castile has now arrived in the Americas, building up down here, going for the oil in Kaiserreich and Hearts of Iron. Any other wars going on? Muscovy dealing with a couple of Novgorodian separatists, which are currently attacking Finland. Where are Finland's armies? Does Finland have an army? Finland currently does not have an army. Nor do they seem to be building one. They just have rebels. What is Finland doing? No army. Barely making any money. They are, I thought, a march. Finland is indeed a march. I guess they just make so little money that there isn't a huge amount that they can do. And Muscovy is really having quite a few rebel problems. Muscovy is attacking Genoa right now. Oh, now that's interesting. Muscovy and Milan both going after the same nation, so they probably noticed that Milan was going after Genoa proper, and then they said, yeah, we will take out their holdings over here. And Genoa's actually expanded a fair amount, so this is going to be some nice turf for Muscovy to get their hands on. Maybe trying to return those familiar lands to their vassal Gustav, because this is exactly where Gustav was last time. Meanwhile, Ming still dealing with separatists, a couple of them in Dali. Dali also being a Ming-splosion nation, so fighting against Miao, losing. Ji separatists are still over there. Yi separatists are over there in Dali. Ayutthaya, not doing much, but I don't really care about them because they are not a player nation. Ah, yes, the Japanese war. How is that going? So the Hoshikawa have restored control of Setsu. They've taken over the Ashikaga capital of Kyoto, which is probably going to be hurting their enemies. They are winning both of these wars fairly handily. Not had really much of a chance to go after Imagawa. I suspect they're just waiting for the enthusiasm to tick down to low so that they can peace out So. And then the war against Ashikaga. Ashikaga is already low. Significant war exhaustion, as is Hatakayama, probably because of the occupation of their capital. And Mino is owned by Hoshikawa, but is currently occupied by Imagawa. So once they've retaken that, they should be in a pretty good position to peace out Ashikaga and Hatakayama. Meanwhile, in Africa, it looks like the Tunisian-Moroccan invasions have now ended. I wonder if they are having any aggressive expansion down here, and if they are, do they care? I suspect that they are so significantly stronger than the African nations down here that they just don't care. What happened to Ulm? Bavaria gave him the ultimatum? Oh, that's good. I like that. The ultimatum. No point getting any tech as a native. They'll have done the military tech for the wars to unify Inca. When they reform, they get 80% of the tech for their neighbour, and all institutions, so why waste monarch points on technology? That is a good point. That's a very good point. What's happened today? Oirat have expanded. Muscovy are expanding. Sweden have expanded. Tunis and Morocco continue to push south. Castile is in the Caribbean. Big wars in Japan. Friesland have expanded a bit. Ulm implode. I think the Ulm implosion is probably the Ulmplosion is probably the big news of today. What is France doing? You are now getting a quarter piece of 0.4. Why? Your war exhaustion is just going up and up and up. The hell are they doing? And now they're getting rebels in Burgundy, which are just going to retake all the territory. Okay, they finally peaced out. What the hell were they waiting? What have they done? One province, Den Haag. So, France? Huh? They didn't break any of Burgundy's vassals. They did not take them as a vassal. It looks like Castile got nothing for their war. So Castile was made to bleed for no reason. And is going to be dealing with rebels now. They did get money. They did take a bunch of cash. And Burgundy has been left with 3 loans. They didn't take that much money then. Must have been AE issues? Yeah, and they are in fact going to get coalitioned now. Oh, maybe not. Burgundy would coalition them. England might. Flanders would. But Flanders is already a vassal. Yeah, taking Den Haag, which is a 30... Well, it's only a 13 dev. It's not that big. I don't know. And then Castile kind of being left dry. Guessing they're building some buildings with this. Yeah, they're building a bunch of churches to get their tax revenue up. France currently just sitting on their newfound monies. I think they tried to force the Burgundian succession. Maybe? But at 100% war score, you should be able to do that. Oh, I see. But it's not Charles, it's Louis. It's a different duke. With an heir. Oh, it's a female heir, though. How old is Louis? 46. Marie is 39. Or they were trying to get rebels to spawn throughout Burgundy, because Burgundy is going to have a lot of rebels. And their revanchism is probably not going to be amazingly high. Where can you see revanchism? I don't know. Go over here, then click on you from this. 31% revanchism, which is giving them a minus 1.5 unrest. But I suspect that Burgundy is still going to have a lot of problems with unrest. Burgundian nobles and heretics. No separatists, which is kind of amazing to me. And then France gave the province back to Holland. Are they still allied? No. And they're allowed to be allied to England because England are not top 4. In fact, England's not even a great power, which is kind of amazing to me. In fact, they would be allowed to, but it's such a close thing. Muscovy is currently 1 development bigger that they would probably get in trouble again if they tried it. So, Castile and France no longer allied. France and England now allied. I wonder if Castile and England are allied. No. Castile is going completely alone. Allied only with Portugal. Interesting. Poland and Lithuania currently dealing with some rebel issues of their own. It looks like Muscovy have defeated their rebel problems. Currently waiting for Milan to take out Genoa. And Milan does look like they're going to take it all. So what's the Pope doing today? The Pope is also going after Milan, but it doesn't look like they've claimed anything. Probably repaying a debt owed to Milan for all of Milan's help in other wars. They could attack Corsica. There is only 5,000 men here. And they definitely have the superior navy. But any kind of landing that they would try to force against Corsica would be a difficult one. They already have Genoa on low. They have the occupations, except for Corsica. I suspect that this is Milan and Muscovy outweighting each other. Or maybe they just can't take as much as they want because Muscovy has got the other occupations. I mean, that's possible. And Muscovy probably can't take everything that they want because Genoa is not taken by them. England is having too much fun doing daft things. Yeah, probably. What is England's development? 315. So they're probably... Oh, yeah. These guys are just a lot bigger. Fair enough. England hasn't done very much development. At all. Austria annexed Riga. No, they didn't. Riga's still Riga. Remember, Riga is a white country as well. Meanwhile, Ming having more and more Ming explosion problems. Xi, Yi, Miao. Although their army is growing once again. The war in Japan is still raging. They still have not pieced out So or Imagawa, both of which are on low, so they probably would accept that. Oh, but Hoshikawa is now independent. So they have just pieced out Ashikaga, took Kyoto from them, and demanded their independence as part of it. So Hoshikawa is no longer tied down by Ashikaga as a shogun. Not that, the tiny nation in the Adriatic. Oh, Ragusa. Yeah, this is Ragusa. Riga is up here. I know that because of the patrician. Any other colonies to appear? Not yet. Now, do England have colonists? They do, but they're not using them. Even if you can't reach anything, you should probably still use the colonists to do free development. I mean, it's free. Actually, do you need to pay colonist costs if you're doing development? You might need to. But still, that's just ducats, and you're a pirate republic. You're going to have buckets of ducats. That's a good question. How was Bohemia divided between Poland and Burgundy? It looks like Poland got Ratibor and Wroclaw. Easiest way to do this would be to click on Bohemia, then go to diplomatic map mode. So yeah, Glogau, Liegnitz, Oberlausitz and Niederlausitz went to Brandenburg, while Ratibor and Wroclaw went to Poland. By the looks of things, they didn't actually take too big a bite out of Bohemia. Bohemia's still pretty strong. Meanwhile, Muscovy have pieced out Genoa. They did take the wealthy provinces down here, including the centre of trade in Azov, Feodosia. And they have completely blocked off Tin and Lower Don, except for Crimea and Imereti. So one of these might well try to take out the rest. And then Milan took out Genoa, although Albenga is still around. Milan, are you suffering from this?
Hello.
Hello. What's up?
So, someone was pointing out that I hadn't properly Anglicanized my French provinces there.
I did not even realise... Oh, not actually Anglican. I was like, hang on, the Reformation fired?
No.
So you mean...
One of them might be slightly orc.
You mean just culture shifting them, or...?
No, I just changed the names because they pointed out, like, those aren't very English-sounding names.
Okay, Calais and Artois. Nice. I like it. So, what do you think about the war that Castile and France fought for nothing? What was that about?
They were trying to get the Burgundian inheritance to fire.
Oh, chat was right.
But,
okay.
you know, it was call for peace, and it was so much war exhaustion, so I just separate pieced for Artois, war reparations, and a bunch of money.
Gotcha. Yeah, I guess that you'd pieced out for that. I was amazed that Castile hung out for as long as they did, because they were suffering the same thing. It was up to 0.47.
Yeah, it's so much war exhaustion. You know, I pieced out when it was 0.07.
That makes sense. So why did France return Den Haag to Holland? That's the other query I have.
Because Austria demanded it back.
Really?
It was like the demand.
Unlawful territory.
Yeah, unlawful territory.
Well played, Austria. That's hilarious.
As so ridiculous, yeah.
So basically, that entire war was for nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I got a province. It's not for nothing for me.
Yeah, you were the only beneficiary. Castile, despite having bled for that war, gained absolutely nothing except for a few ducats, and actually not that many. And then France gained a province which they promptly gave back. Like, they didn't even break up the vassals or anything.